Right, well, let's get cracking. It gives me great pleasure to introduce the episode 139 of the Sussex by the Sea Fan Roundtable. Wonderful gentlemen on, as ever, regular Rob from Horsham, the mighty Horsham, Ian from the once mighty Hastings, and John back from the staying in the league, Canvey, just about. Boys, how are we this evening?
Yeah, all good, thank you.
All
Not
good.
bad, thank you.
Excellent. Right. And so we'll get cracking into it. We haven't seen John for a while. Talk to me, John. Talk to me about your Canvey boys. Now, the Essex Cup final, you beat Hornchurch, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, we did beat Hornchurch,
Yeah.
yeah, team of league with us. So
Yeah. So a great result there. Other results haven't been so good. You kind of managed to get a few points on the board, though. Just talk to us about it'd be about the last 3 weeks, really.
yeah, I guess we've just about. Well, it seems like we're just about done enough. I mean, I won't rest until it's confirmed mathematically. But yeah, we've seemed to have clawed one or two results that have kept that gap where we need to be. Obviously, just before that cup final we mentioned, we probably put in one of our better performances this season against Lewis.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just absolutely blew them away that day. I couldn't believe what I was watching. And that was the first game I'd been to watch in a couple of weeks as well, so we took a little bit of time out of it. And yeah, we were brilliant. I thought, where the hell has this been all season? Like we seem to just seem so much more astute as like a sort of unit. We were making chances, burying the chances. So that led quite well into obviously, yeah, that cup final we mentioned, probably what will be considered, I suppose, a highlight of our season now. Yeah, it was a really, really good result. And we looked like we were going to lose it. I mean, they scored, I think, not long before half time. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a hell of a strike. I don't know if anyone's had a chance to watch it, but yeah, no goalkeeper saving that. But we'd made a load of chances. We were playing really well on a much bigger pitch than we used to. Against a good opponent in Hornchurch, we obviously everyone saw what they were about last season in this league, and carried on well in the National South.
Well, they just beat Worthing as well, didn't they? The top side.
They
in the
did,
league.
yeah. I went to that, funny enough, that night that we played you, so I couldn't make it down to your grounds. So I thought, well, that's a bit of a close to home alternative. But yeah, no, like I say, we took the game to them well. We had chances, kept battling to the end, and then it was about the 91st minute we equalised. It just absolute pandemonium. It was brilliant. Yeah, managed to take the penalties, which has been our dab in that competition this year. Got a good goalkeeper and seemed to convert in the penalties well as well. So yeah, it was almost like written in the stars as soon as we took it to that. But yeah, hell of an evening, to be honest. I'll say it's down a bit of a shame about it. I kind of wish it had been a closer venue. We could have had a bit more of an ease up afterwards, because it was all up in Colchester, which is I don't know if anyone's ever been there. It's a ball lake of a ground to get to. It's just a stadium off the motorway, really. So nothing around it.
I watched QPR. I watched QPR lose there once.
Yeah. I mean, it's the first time I've been past it loads of times. Like in the older Isthmian North days, we'd have to take the A12 up to Suffolk, Norfolk way. But yeah, first time I've ever been in there. Impressive ground, but yeah, in the middle of nowhere. But yeah, so we thought, okay, brilliant. We've just recorded a brilliant result in the league. We've won a cup. Everyone's buzzing. Let's take us in the league now. And we just turned up as the same old Canvey again on Saturday against Potts Bar. We were absolutely terrible in that. It was a poor game all round. I mean, neither side looked particularly brilliant. But I don't know, first half come out all right, made a couple of chances, but the second half we just looked so disjointed. I don't know, we were knackered or something. But yeah, they got a scrappy goal and won the game off of it. So we thought, bleeding hell, yeah, right back in it again. And obviously that went into a big week against yourselves, Hastings and Hendon. So, I mean, from what people have told me about Hastings, it sounded like we got away with one a bit. Said, yeah, I mean, I spoke to, someone on the Saturday just gone. I was telling them about Potts Bar. I said, that sounded the same as Hastings. We just weren't that good. But obviously you've had a chance and taken it, really. So it's sort of done us well, really, not conceding ground. And I'd say the same with Hendon. I mean, Hendon, we started the game really, really well. I mean, we hit the post twice in the first half. We had a couple of chances to really test them. I mean, their goalkeeper, to be fair, I'll give him his dues. He was probably their man of the match, kept them in it, certainly, on a couple of occasions. But yeah, first half, I thought, God, we should be out of sight here. We could be about 2-3 nil up. Then the second half, we just come out again. Just, I don't know what happened. Just looking disjointed. We were slicing clearances away. Sorry, when we'd been so good in what we were doing in the first half and just inviting unnecessary pressure. And then it's an absolute moment of madness from our keeper. He's come out to try and, I think, sort of clear a ball coming towards him. Their boys had a bit of pace on him, caught him out, just slotted the ball across the face of goal to their striker, bang, 1-0. I thought, oh God, please, you cannot be losing this game, because that was the one. Just like, yeah, we're going to keep any sort of semblance of safety. We cannot let them into it with 5 games to go. And yeah, thankfully, we kept plugging away, got that chance and took it. And again, could have nearly won at the end, not for their goalkeeper. So it keeps us with that 8-point gap now between the relegation zone and whatnot. I'd say be more comfortable with another win somewhere, just to make it sure now. Obviously 2 big games still in April in terms of sides down there, obviously in yourselves again, and Dulwich as well the weekend after. So we've been sucked back into it really, aren't they? So but yeah, it's been an interesting whole season really in terms of what we've actually achieved or not. I mean, in the league it's been god awful really. It was just about sort of, I think, survived for the sake of a couple of results, and maybe other teams being a bit worse off than us.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It was 4 poorer sides than yourself.
As we said before, mate, at least we got that cup out of it. So
yeah, no, it's great.
Not a season to remember in the league, but as I said to you before, at least we have that cup to remember it by now. So that's the one sort of shining light in our season, really.
Well, as long as you stay in this league, that's all you're going to remember is the cup. It's a great little moment for you, isn't it? Really.
Exactly, mate. Yeah, I'd say 5th time we've won that in our history now. Great little night for the club. So it was, with the season we've been having, proper unexpected. Just making the final was an achievement, really. So to do it like we did, unbelievable.
Few quid in the coffers as well.
Exactly. Yeah, I'd like to hope so. Anyway, mate. But yeah, we'll see what occurs there, I suppose.
We'll leave
the
that
same
subject.
amount of money as the Club World Cup thing, isn't it? I think the Essex Senior.
Oh yeah, of course, mate.
1 billion prize money or something like that, isn't it?
That's it, mate. You get the freedom of Essex,
Bitcoin, mate. Be Bitcoin.
Bitcoin, yeah.
One of the positive things, I think, isn't it? Getting into one of those.
All right, well, cheers, John. Canvey, eh? Right, well, let's change the mood. Let's talk to someone. Let's talk to Rob. Let's talk to him about how Horsham are flying. He was earlier moaning about goals, unbelievably he was moaning about goals.
Moaning about something.
Yeah, but it's been a fantastic run from Horsham, and it looks destined. Let's not put a bock on it. Look destined to me to going up myself. But talk to me about Horsham, mate.
Oh yeah, I've been on for a while. It's been a busy month. So I think the last time I was on, we were just going to go and play Dartford. Which in the first half we absolutely battered them. We hit the post, we hit the crossbar. The keeper cleared off, saved a couple of 1-on-1s. We had a shot off the line, and then going at half time they came out and we just sat back. It was what the tactics are there, I don't know, but we just sat back and they got the equaliser in the 88th minute and then got the winner in the 91st. So excuse me. So that was a sucker punch, and then sort of bounce back, and I say very rarely do Horsham go back-to-back defeats, to be honest. But that did happen against Wingate and Finchley. We went 1-0 up, and that to me was the weekend where both Billericay and Dartford were losing, and we were 1-0 up against Wingate. And then they come in and equalise, and then it goes 2-1 to them. I think as it's got on, you look how we played Bowes and Pitsea, who were awful, but we just beat them 1-0. We're still hanging on. He's sitting there 96th minute going, how's this game not done? So Hendon was the same. But that weekend where all 3 top teams lost, if you want to win the title, that for me was the pivotal weekend. But I think now looking at it, Saturday was a massive goal from Lee in the 96th minute to go 2-1 against Cheshunt. We're starting to look a little bit fatigued, which is a little bit of a concern, but some big players are coming back into it. Like we've been missing Charlie Hester-Cook. For me, he's our player of the season. So we've missed him for the last 5-6 weeks in that midfield, and he's coming back now. He's full to fitness. Got some other Brivs, our captains, come back now from a massive injury that he did early on in the season. So hopefully that helps and kicks us on. And then obviously we beat Brighton under-21s in the semi-final for the other. So we're now in back-to-back Sussex Senior Cup finals, and hopefully we can defend that against Littlehampton. So that's going to be a good occasion again, hopefully at the Amex. These boys just keep going, and then we've got big games coming up now. Shorten away is going to be a big one.
Yes,
Canvey at home on Saturday, Cray, and then Bognor, and then we finish up a hashtag at home. So yeah, we'll see. I don't see the top. I think the top two, Billericay and Dartford. I think there's less games going, so as games pass on, and it seems at the moment all the three teams are winning, so there's not much more you can do. Second or third, I'd love that second position. Although third, you're at home for your playoff. It's then the final. If you get through, that will be away. So from a selfish point of view, I'd like to finish second.
Yeah.
So we're looking at that, but Billericay looks strong to be fair, but you never know. But
it's pretty tight. Well, I mean, we pushed them on Saturday, though, didn't we, Chris? It was tight.
We got a draw at their place.
I saw that.
Oh, wait, I went and watched them with us draw at their place.
Yeah, we played them at their place and we got beaten. There was another one we were 1-0 up at half time, battered them, and they didn't know what to do with our front three. And then the second half, again, we sat back and they get 2 quick goals. But we beat them at our place 1-0 a couple of months back. It's one of those things. I don't think anyone would want to fancy coming to Horsham at the moment. So I'm sure we would. I know the club for a fact would want a home tie and then see what happens. But it'd be interesting to see. It's that goals thing at the moment. We haven't scored any more than 2, but we don't let a massive amount in, so that's always a good.
As long as it's 3 points, though, Rob.
Exactly, mate. That's the problem. Performances go out the window at this stage of the season. I've said that since probably the end of February, to be honest. Couldn't give a crap about performances. You don't want them to drag it. There's a little bit. You can see they're tired, like they're tense. That's normal. But yeah, hopefully a good win on Saturday and see what happens. And a lot of people now are looking in the stands, looking at results, and I'm like, let's just focus on ours because until our game's done and dusted, there's no point looking at anyone else's. So, but no, it's all good there at the moment. I say cup finals as the season goes, and then the playoffs, and that was a minimum. I would have thought would it be the playoffs. So,
dead set for the playoffs, didn't you? But
yeah, exactly. So that's back to back playoffs. So it's all progression and going right way. We'll see what happens. But the playoffs are a lottery, as everyone knows. Quick turnaround succession. So I think the Easter weekend will be pivotal. I see a couple of teams have changed it. We're one of them where we've changed it to the Friday. So they played Saturday, Monday. We've gone Friday, Monday to give us that little bit of extra time. We've tried to do that previously, but the clubs we played against refused. But this time they've turned around and done it. So we'll see. It's good fun to be there at the moment, and it's good to go into this now in the season where every time we go to a game, there's something on it. And that's, as a fan, that's all we want. So we'll see what happens on Saturday and crack on from there. But no, it's been pretty decent, really. There's no, apart from I had to moan about something. I can't come on here singing about roses. We're not top, so there's something wrong. But yeah, no, it's been pretty special this season. To be fair, with the FA Cup, if you think early on and the teams we've beaten, I'd love to just go up in the point of view just to see how we would do. Dip your toes in and see. It'd be a struggle, I think, but it'd be interesting to see.
Yeah. Okay. Cheers, Rob. Well, well done, you boys. Well done. Right. Talking about the opposite end of the league. Ian. Let's talk Hastings.
It's all going very, very well, isn't it? So I think we can just leave it there.
Well, yeah. Chichester was I
wasn't there actually. I was spared that one.
As I remember, Chichester, we were doing all right, and on them, but not really banging on the door, but I wouldn't say in control. We've never been in control of any games this season, but we're attacking, should we say, and not defending. And then they went down just before half time and scored. So, and then that game was dead. The second half was, I won't say it was almost a disgrace. It was when you're watching a side that's relegated play, that there was just no belief. And it, particularly last half an hour it was just, us behind the goal and all that. We're trying to keep it going. And it was like,
I think when you've scored as few goals as we have and you go 1-0 down, it's so bleak at that point, isn't it? You just know how much football is required for us to score a single goal.
I know, but we have, with the senior players we've got in the team, they need to look at themselves really.
Yeah.
You've got to lead from the front. You've got, it doesn't matter. We weren't mathematically down.
No,
we're still not mathematically
really
down, but it's just no one really believes that we can stay up now. And So anyway, that was Chichester. So then we move on. We can move on to Canvey. Now, Canvey, bloody hell! I'm sorry, John. Well, you probably already know this. I thought Canvey were awful. I really did. But you were lucky because you were playing Hastings, mate. So we should have put you away. we get the goal, and we were playing some ranked football as well. And to be fair to your lot, you kept plugging away, didn't give up. Great battling from your team. Equalised, could have won it. Then at the end, when we had chances, we spoke about this, John, where we had a corner last minute. There was some dark arts were used. A few players sent off, basically to put us off. And so there was nothing, handbags in the area, and it did put us off. And yet again, we couldn't beat the first man on a corner. So it was not great football, but you got what you wanted, and obviously your Canvey boys were jumping up and down because for the game, it was like, really, you got away with one there. But
of course,
we are a charitable club.
Absolutely.
I mean, like I said before, our purpose in that game and the Hendon one was just to not lose, basically.
Yeah.
That was a bare minimum. Don't give up ground. So it was, I suppose, in that sense, mission accomplished. But
I think knowing that, to give you to give away the goal that we gave away for the equaliser was just unbelievable.
But it wasn't surprising.
No, not surprising. No.
Yeah, it's just it was just the. But the problem is what we had. Danny Searle who was the manager, who is now gone, and he changed. I have had arguments with other fans about this, but we went to a results-based football. The problem was we never got any results. So we just lost. We just lost by less. Yeah, and we were shipping goals. We were absolutely shipping goals before he came in, and he did tighten it up. But then there was local players there, and he shipped in people from outside of like London-based, Essex-based players in, and they did put more effort in. And it's like that kind of a bit of a bad reflection on the local-based players. That one requirement that you, particularly at Hastings, is you give. I mean, I suppose it's at every club really, but like 110% is the bare minimum, at least the effort. Yeah, you can lose games. Yeah, I'm not got a problem with losing games, but when you're sitting there with boo-boo faces, sulking, not tracking back, things like that, that's just not acceptable. It was never acceptable at Hastings. And so we played some of the. I mean, Ian reckons we were playing liquid football. There was some of the most rank long ball.
Well, I realised that it's a very low bar, but it was in the first half we played some of our best football of the season. Now, I mean, that is not saying a lot, obviously, clearly, but it was better. We did actually create some chances. Their keeper made a couple of good saves, and we should have been ahead before a very soft penalty.
The penalty was soft, right?
But it doesn't matter now, does it? Really? Who cares at this point?
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Like, at this moment, and then obviously we played Billericay, and Billericay, with the firepower they got. With confidence, maybe we could have got something out of that game. But as soon as I doubt you're not going to look at rival teams' Twitters and look at goals, but Billericay's goals, it was embarrassing. Like
they were. That first half was shameful, really, from a defensive point of view. I mean, there were players. David's got nothing to do with it. There were various other players on the pitch who were in more forward positions, you got nothing to do with it, but defensively it was absolutely shameful. And
like 2 yards off, not picking up runners, just the real basics though. That's the
things problem. Like that goal that we conceded immediately after we'd equalised, where you just think, well, at least we could keep it tight for a minute, couldn't we, so that we can have a little bit of hope. But no, then you end up with Femi basically turning, I think it was Teddy Perkins.
How long did he have?
Yeah. I mean, it's just like, well, that's obviously what he's going to try and do, isn't it? That's his entire career.
Yeah.
It was embarrassing. It was really, really, really grim.
Yeah. So that was 5-1 at half time.
Yeah.
0-0
in second half.
0-0 second half. Thank you. Yeah. So that it's not looking good. Obviously, Danny Searle's gone. We've got several players have gone. But
I mean, there's no point in paying people's wages just to oversee meaningless games at the end of the season, is there? I don't imagine Danny Searle comes cheap, and what's the point in paying him just to oversee 5 meaningless games at this stage of the season, and paying players that we don't want to keep.
Well, Teddy Perkins was at fault for the
Teddy Perkins' Saturday performance was like a half an hour resignation letter.
Yeah,
I mean, it was just shambolic. Couldn't be asked. So he's happily on his way. Alex Kapapki, I think, has been really good, but he's suspended. So what's the
he's
point
got,
of paying him to be suspended?
There was the guy we got from Harvard. No, is he gone?
Yeah, I mean, you know, he's been all right, but I mean, you're not keeping him for next season, are you? So there's no point. And the other kid hasn't been playing anyway.
Yeah,
So
he's a bench warmer.
you know, I think there's a lot of hysteria, obviously, because that's what social media is all about. We've got no players, we've got no manager, we've got no players, which is, I think, happens at least once every couple of years at probably every club at this level, is that everybody gets in a complete tears because we haven't got any players. And
That's us every summer.
No, we haven't got any good players. That's the problem.
What do you think you'll do now? Do you think you'll just completely wipe the season, play with the kids, and see what brings next season? Do you think you'll bring someone in with an eye on next season, or how do you think you'll play as a club?
Well, we've got Dean White who's taken over now. Dean White's got a long history with Hastings. He's obviously part of the ownership group, but he's managed before. And we don't know. I mean, the thing is that something had to change anyway. Does
the fan base? Sorry to interrupt, but does the fan base have confidence in the hierarchy of doing the correct thing, even if you do go down, to be in place, to put all the necessary foundations in place to then come back up? Because if you're looking at it, like every appointment they've made has been wrong.
Oh yeah. No, so, they know they've made errors. They know they've made errors. And see, the problem is, it's like, I was chatting with Chris Agata for the Worthy manager, and he obviously was there last season. And the thing is that this kind of malaise has carried on from the season before. About two, three months towards the end of the season, we started fading. And I mean, we didn't turn up against your lot at the Sussex Cup final, which was such a shame. I was really hoping for a kind of competitive final, which it wasn't. And so this kind of thing has carried on, and we've got all of these players. All the players that we had were good players and can be good players, but it's just for whatever reasons. I mean, like some of your Davids, your Lovitts, and people like that. They need to look at themselves in the mirror. That they're picking up a big old wage, and they haven't performed this season. But equally, being fair, we've brought Danny Bloor in, who was, well, it's just an interesting experiment. Let's just say that.
I would say on that one, I would say if we bought ourselves a parrot and taught it to shout up the U's, every so often, we probably could have saved ourselves some money and time.
One of my best moments ever doing an interview, that one, when I got him to do that. Right, but then we got Sean Ray, who didn't look like the players respected, a lot of them, and that I don't know. Is that because because of Sean Ray, or was that because of the players? I don't know. And then we bring Danny Searle in, and well, it's gone nowhere. It's really. I mean,
it was the right appointment, wasn't it? But
was it? I don't know.
I think it was. I think it was. I suspect he's a really good coach. I don't think you get those qualifications by being an idiot.
Not suggesting he's an idiot, but he might not be at the right club at the right time. You know what I mean?
I mean, I think it was the right thing to do. And we've backed him. We've brought in players.
Yeah, brought players in.
But it's just made money. No. It does feel at this point like if we signed the entire Liverpool squad and all of their coaching staff and played them on Saturday, we would still lose 2-0 without a shot on target. It just doesn't. Nothing seems to make any difference. But so I suspect the thing is we're just going to, we'll play out the last 5 games. But we've got enough. We've got a squad. It's not like there's nobody to play. The bench will be very young, I imagine. But
the bench was young anyway, and he wasn't playing off the bench, was he?
No.
Freddie Legg, he wouldn't play. Didn't rate him. It's like, well, why our winger? Well, don't put him on the bench then. I mean, going back to your thing, Rob, there is concerns in the Hastings fan base about what's going on. We haven't even really got a spine in that team, so it's like, what do you do? That there is going to be a refresh, and I personally hoping that we get someone in who's kind of coached Sussex, like a Sussex-based coach who's coached in this area, and we just rebuild and we don't look to go straight up again or anything rubbish like that. We need a period of stability. We just really do.
Yeah.
This season was a joke.
And we've got to get the ground sorted. That's just vital. Without getting the ground sorted, I don't think we're going anywhere anytime soon. If we were able to get the ground sorted, whatever that involves,
but the ground,
whichever plan that is, but we've got to get it done.
But the ground or the not, whatever's been going on, that doesn't excuse what's been going on the pitch.
No. I'm not. Absolutely, it doesn't. I mean, there's no reason certainly
If
the
they've got the
squad
money,
we've been
then
playing under Danny Searle should be a mid-table squad, and I think that's probably been true throughout the entire season. And why it hasn't been is just lack of
but
leadership,
we
bad
keep
decisions.
hearing that. Well,
Yeah,
we should be this, we should be that. Well, no one on that pitch. The problem is at Hastings, we obviously we had a period of success when we come out of the Southeast League. Yeah, we had a few 3-4 years where we were very, very strong side and we were full of leaders, and all of those leaders have gone. Okay, so
yeah,
you're lacking like on that pitch, someone to grab hold of a game
totally.
and just like either
Set the standard.
calm a game down, or
Yeah.
just try and get the crowd going, and like it just has not existed this season, and it's just we're where we deserve.
Oh, totally. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that we're not where we are. Absolutely where we deserve to be.
I mean, I thought Canvey deserved to be where we are, but unfortunately, I've got that.
Yeah, I
one
mean
wrong.
that's the thing. Canvey were, I mean, no offense, but Canvey were terrible, and we're somehow 11 points worse off than them.
And we've had the fixtures. We've had
But-
so many chances to get back into this run, and
So many missed opportunities.
it's just
Yeah.
ridiculous. Even now, if you look at those fixtures, there's squeaky bum time could happen, but I cannot see
No,
it.
if we were closer, then maybe. If we were closer and we're showing any signs at all of
we're not
even
showing
winning
any
a football
signs.
match, then yeah. But yeah, so many opportunities, so many points we've just chucked away.
Okay. But in good news, Ian,
Yeah,
our under 23s will be starting from next season.
and also we've got a friendly against Worthing,
Yeah.
so we can kidnap Chris Agata, lock him in a broom cupboard, and that sorts that. We can have him as manager again.
We've got to move on. That's probably a little bit of it as well, is the ghost of Aggie.
No, that's very true. That is very true. I've thought so many times this season, it wouldn't be like this under Chris Agata. And yeah, that's the problem, isn't it? You kind of lose a big figure like that.
Ian, we still beat Horsham though, didn't we? No, we can't forget that. That's my highlight of the season.
Yeah, what was it?
Horsham had 17 shots on goal, didn't get one.
At least it was a sunny day as well. That's all I can take out of that.
John was saying that the cup final was the highlight of his season. I was actually trying to think what the hell our highlight of the season would be.
God, yeah.
I had a nice ice cream in August. Yeah.
Tommy Fagg in goal, or was that last season?
No, that was this season. Yeah.
Tommy Fagg, who's no longer with us, who pretended to be injured to get out of a contract.
That was a Cheshire one, wasn't it?
Yeah. Was it Chatham where we lost 3-1 or 4-1? Yeah, it was. Anyway, some of the greatest goalie display I've ever seen. Bambi in goal. It was brilliant.
We went from 1-0 up to 3-1 down in 10 minutes.
Only Hastings.
And then it turned out we had somebody who'd been a goalkeeper in his youth on the bench. No, actually in the
Maybe he was on the pitch.
Yeah, he was on the pitch. Just that Danny Blore hadn't actually figured that out.
Yeah. God bless Danny Blore.
Good times.
Yeah, good times. Well, they're gonna commit Harry Carey in the back if we go on any more about Hastings.
I'm enjoying it.
It's nearly summer.
Yeah, but you're enjoying it for evil ways. You bloody Horsham will love it.
That. No, never.
The season there, aren't we? I suppose you look at what's still to be decided, who's getting what. I mean, the title race now looks like who blinks first between Dartford and Ricky, doesn't it?
Getting the 5th, 6th, and 7th looks quite interesting. With Chichester and Carshalton. That's going to be quite.
All that might look decided, but there is a chance there, isn't it? That someone drops out of it. It looks like it could be Dover if they stumble, possibly. And you say Carshalton, I think probably maybe look one of the stronger of the sides. Challenge for that, don't they? So I think they reinforced with a couple of good players as well on deadline day. So yeah, that's can be interesting. I mean, just a quick note on that title race. To be fair, I think we still got to play Billericay in our last home game. And if it is a case of who blinks first, from a purely biased standpoint, I hope we give them a black eye.
As I say, can you just kick him many players as you can?
At that point, right? I mean, I want us to be safe first off by that point. That's the main thing. I mean, my nightmare scenario I was thinking of a week or two ago is thinking, good God, they could relegate us and win the title at our ground. That would, I think I might actually just throw myself off the seat if that were the case. But no, I mean, touch wood. Let's hope that by then it's done and we can just throw everything at them last home game and make it hard for them on a difficult pitch. It'd be funny to deny them the title. But, you know, they were a good side when we played them before at their graph. I imagine it's going to be even harder now. As everyone's mentioned, they've got a hell of a lot of firepower. But, yes, I'd say whoever blinks first now between them and Dartford are throwing up good results. So, yeah, it's interesting. But then, yeah, as mentioned, you get into the playoffs. Obviously, Horsham, you're firmly ingrained in that. You'll definitely take 3 easy points off of us on Saturday. You know, our track record
recently at home.
Track record against you guys is terrible. I mean, like I know it's a bit weird with what we've got going on in the squad. I mean, we've got 2 players suspended off of the back of that Hastings game. Midfielder Jamie Salmon.
Bloody should be as well.
You know what? I spoke to someone about it, and that one at the end, he said it was. I don't know.
He was holding on to some bloke's leg. He was holding.
Yeah.
One of them was holding on to a leg, and it was all the dark arts, mate. It was.
Of course.
It got what it needed, which is what you were trying to do was disrupt our team, and we were actually had a chance to get a goal, which is a very momentous thing for Hastings.
The only way you could deny us and our total football from our inevitable victory.
You didn't realise we were only going to put it. We ain't going to beat the first man anyway. So I don't know why you got your fellas sent off, really, but it definitely rattled us.
In terms of the players we did get sent off, I mean, like obviously the fella who got the straight red at the end, it's a bit of a shame, really, because it almost seems like that his last game on Saturday now that suspension comes in, it's season done, and it seems like it may well be his last appearance in a Canvey shirt. Because you know he's getting on a bit now. I think he's about 33, 34 maybe. So whether it's a case of he's not really, but I mean in terms of I think you kind of see it in his performances. I mean, as good as fella, he's been a great servant of the club. I think it's catching up with him a bit now, and it's catching up with a couple. And obviously the other fella who got sent off with his second yellow, he's our top goal scorer this season. So you know that doesn't really bode well. But at least we only miss him for one game. On the flip
my
side,
heart doesn't bleed for you, mate. My heart doesn't bleed for you.
On the flip side, we might have 2 of our better defenders going back in. You know, I mean, in that game against Lewis, we had a boy who'd been missing for most of the season for injury. A really good defender on his day, and he made a real big difference at the back. Elliot Johnson, his name is. We had him for one game, and then he went off to America on business. So I'm hoping, thankfully, he'll be back for that this week. So he should be eligible against Horsham, and we might have Jane Croas back as well, who's a good little wing back, quite versatile as well. Can play defensive mid if he needs to, so that might help us maybe not concede 4 like we have. But yeah, then I say those 2 big ones, obviously against yourselves and Dulwich. We'll see what happens. But
is that at Dulwich?
He's at Dulwich, yeah. That's the weekend after we play you. So we have them and then Billericay on the Monday. We finish our season at Wingate, which we know will be an illustrious affair in front of about 70 people, maybe. But yeah, I say it seems like things down the bottom are almost done. I'm not saying anything until it's actually done. But
there could be a little wobble. Obviously, we got Bowers and Pitts.
Yeah, I've got Bowers. Yeah, Bowers have pretty much thrown in the towel, to be honest. I mean,
we managed to concede 4 goals against them early.
Well, stop it.
Say Bowers. I mean,
they scored for 10 games before that.
They are truly awful.
Hendon as well, 9 against Hendon.
Yeah.
I think the most ridiculous thing about all that was they end up beating Hughes and give their manager the elbow the week later. I was like, what the hell are you doing? But yeah, they seem to have done similar, really, in a sense. I think quite a few of the good players have gone there thinking about next season now, just seeing it out.
Yeah.
Hendon have got a difficult 3 games coming up. I think they've got Dover away at the weekend. Dover are in desperate need of the points, aren't they? They've got Chatham and there's another one of the big boys, or the bigger sides, I think they've got to play.
I think they've got Billericay, haven't they?
I think, Billericay's in the mix somewhere.
Somewhere.
Actually, no, I don't think they do. I think they've already played them. They got tonked by Billericay a couple of weeks ago. At their game. I know they've definitely played them away because I keep chatting with one of their fans. Probably one you probably get on the podcast, Chris, that Felix. He's a good young lad.
Give him a shout. Give him a shout and get him on.
I have to tell him, get him on for
the end of the season one.
Exactly, yeah. But he, I remember him mentioning about we had that Twitter exodus, didn't he? After he went to Billericay before, because he said he got too drunk or something, and then he got absolutely dragged on Twitter for it. So yeah, so that means they've definitely played him twice. Yeah, I think. Yeah, so I'll say it's still. It could go a few different ways at the top, so that makes for an interesting running now. Last 5, I think.
No, it's exciting stuff to watch. It's I'm genuinely like, there's all good sides up there.
Yeah, there have been quite a few good sides this year. I mean, to be fair, I mean, I must admit, like sort of looking at what we predicted earlier in the season, I'm quite glad Cray Valley have kind of lived up to the expectations I set for them. I thought one of the sides that come up that they can be a bit of a dark horse. They seem to improve that really. Just a good little industrious side, to be honest. No frills, no spills, just get the job done.
I'm sure I said Chatham and Folkestone, so I am well off.
Yeah, I mean, we all said Chatham. I mean, I said Billericay as well, and that's proven to come true. But yeah, everyone was bang off about Chatham. They have just buckled under their own weight, I think, haven't they? Really, too much expectation there. But they've had a bit of a revolving door, really, in terms of players. A lot of their squad isn't the same as what it started the season. Same with Folkestone, really, but I mean, they've got that big appointment there in Jay Saunders for next season, haven't they? So
endless
that'll be
money at Folkestone.
That's it, exactly. Yeah, that is big old dosh. So yeah. So see how this next 5 games pans out. We'll definitely share a bigger. We'll come down to Canvey, Chris, if you can.
Yeah. If I can, mate. If I can, you never know. Saturday there could be another little wobble. The submarine might raise out the water.
That's it
Against Bowers.
You never know.
But just quickly, actually, I don't know if I mentioned this in the last round table. A massive, massive thanks to everyone that attended Chris Taylor's funeral, including the Chatham delegation that came up. It was excellent stuff from them. And as I say, well attended. And rest in peace, Chris. Boys, thank you very much for attending. Rob from Horsham, John from Canvey, and Ian from the mighty Hastings. See you at the game.
Take care.
See you later, Joe.